Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. We are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. I did the unthinkable. I hate that I did this. Honestly, I'm so disgusted in myself. When I look in the mirror, I just want to spit right in my face because I made a horrible decision. I went back and I watched the Super Bowl run. That's right. I watched the game against Atlanta. I watched the game against the Minnesota Vikings. I watched the game against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I went with the extended highlights, to be fair. I'm not going to act like I'm some hero, and within the last day I watched 3 full football games. But I went back just to admire those moments because it has fallen so quickly, and now it's the complete opposite. I feel horrible about the future of this franchise, and it concerns me. It really does. Change needs to happen. Change needs to happen, and I listen to a head coach, and I know that he's been a joke when it comes to the media since he has gotten here, okay? He has always been bad in the press conferences, but it has hit an all-new level when it comes to snarkiness, when it comes to his attitude, how much he hates everyone involved. When he gets asked reasonable questions that actually is solid. Like, these journalists are asking legitimate questions about the game, about the future of this team, about the injuries, about the game plan, and he's going down a different path and doesn't want to answer. He wants to give you attitude, and it's showing me that this football coach is cracking. Now, to be fair, tough spot to be in. No doubt about it. I would hate to get drilled every single day when I woke up about how I was doing in life, how I was doing in my job. It would be a tough time, but guess what? This is the price you pay when your team is performing like a horrendous squad. When your team is performing like the Jets, like the Jags, like bad football teams, you are going to get legitimate questions. Now, they're tough questions, but all of these questions being asked by media members, 99% of them are sports journalistic questions. And he doesn't want to respond because he's annoyed, because he's irritated. I can't support it. The coach is cracking. And when I hear him talk about how in this city, the only people that get a lot of hate is the head coach and the quarterback. I'm paraphrasing, but it was along those lines of him saying, in Philadelphia, it always comes back to the head coach and the quarterback. And he claims that there's so many issues with this team. Tackling, special teams, Miles Sanders holding on to the football. He's talking about all of the problems with this football team. So let me get this straight. You're telling me, as the head coach, there are a lot of problems and issues with this team? Who does that fall back on? Doug, it falls back on you. That is your job. When you sign the contract, it's not all about the offensive side of the ball. It's not all about the game planning and the play calling. When you're the head coach, you oversee everything, literally everything, special teams unit, all the way up the board, all the way across the board. So you trying to sell to everybody that, hold on a second, it's not just me and it's not just Carson Wentz, it's the whole team. There's a lot of problems. That falls back on you, Doug. That is your fault. That is your problem to fix. So I would say, whether you want to look around the league and see that it didn't work with Chicago and it doesn't have this insane success rate, I think Doug Pederson needs to take a step back. I have been very vocal about being open to anything. Right? When it comes to Carson Wentz, I would be okay with sitting him down. Now, I'm not saying long term. Even if Jalen Hurts goes out there and has 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, I would still go back to Carson Wentz. It's more of a sit down like, yo, dude, you cannot perform this way. You cannot go out there and do the things that you've been doing. You need to be better at your position. You have to make your throws. You have to throw the football. A lot's in play on why I feel he is double-guessing himself, but realistically, he is still playing at an F-. Take away how I feel about Doug. Take away these skill position players. Take away the offensive line being bad. Carson Wentz still needs to be an extremely better version of himself, even though all of those issues plays a factor in the outcome every Sunday. But I said I was willing to have Jalen Hurts start so Carson Wentz can take a step back. I think Doug needs to do the same thing. And I'm not demanding it to happen because I think Rich Scangarello is going to come in and this offense is going to flow and be magnificent and you're just going to see an explosive offense. That's not the case. But Doug needs to take a step back, and he's so into game plan, game calling, offensive scheme. He's not paying attention to all of the other flaws with this team, and that falls on his shoulders. He needs to be more aware. He needs to recognize that. I think he's so sucked in and in this vacuum of the offense, he's not paying attention. It's like having 3 kids, if you will, right? The offense, the defense, the special teams. And I know Jim Schwartz has a lot to say when it comes to that defense. He's very respected in this league, and he essentially runs the defense while Doug Pederson runs the offense. But still, you're the head coach of the football team. You oversee all of the operations. So let's say you have 3 kids, offense, defense, special teams. It's like he's paying attention to the one kid and neglecting the others. Can't happen. Can't happen. It's really frustrating. It's really annoying. And watching that Super Bowl run, Zach Ertz, Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey in more of his prime. Now I can't stand the guy. And the fact that I hear Doug mention that they need to find more time for him too, what is going on? Dysfunction. There's no other way to explain it other than dysfunction. I've been so hard on Doug Pederson, but there is something telling me that there's more to it. The Jason Peters stuff doesn't make sense. This Alshon stuff does not make sense. I do question how many brain cells Doug Pederson has at times, so maybe he does lack so many brain cells that he's not recognizing this Alshon Jeffrey thing as a problem. Maybe I'm giving Doug Pederson too much credit thinking this is a Jeffrey Lurie or a Howie Roseman thing, but it's unbelievable. And it's already been on the record that Howie Roseman does have input on the 53-man roster on game day. Is this a scenario where the GM is trying to justify paying Jason Peters that extra money in the offseason, paying Alshon Jeffrey when he made the extension happen and everything happened with Alshon Jeffrey and his money? Is this a product of Howie Roseman going, yo, we have to have these 2 out there. Look what we gave them. It would be silly for us not to play them. Maybe that's the mentality, and it's being forced upon Doug. Maybe I'm being too nice giving Doug a free pass here, but it does seem like there's something else coming down on top of Doug that's forcing this all to happen. And when your fingerprints start to get on things as an owner, as front office members, I'm telling you, the product suffers. You can see it. I'm not being fooled. There is dysfunction occurring. Teams don't operate with dysfunction. They don't. I think all of their heads got so obnoxiously large from those games I talked about that I watched earlier. Their heads just got so damn big. They all think they're better than one another. Doug, Howie, Jeffrey, like they just feel they're so much bigger than one another and they feel all this power. Here's reality. 3-6-1, bad football team. And everybody's questioning what is going on with Carson. As bad as it's been, this is not the guy. This is not the guy. Now, I don't think 2017 is the guy either. I'm not sitting here today claiming that Carson Wentz is 2017 and he's not 2020. He's somewhere in the middle. All right, I watched Jared Goff and Sean McVay on Monday Night Football tear up Tampa Bay. Look at the completion percentage. I want to look up the full stats of Jared Goff. All right, because he was just making plays left and right. But why was he making plays left and right? Well, the head coach and Sean McVay had something to do with it. So let's look at the box score here. Box score against, this is Rams Am I not on the Rams? Yeah, who did they just play? Tampa Bay. Come on, Brodes, get your head together. Here we go. 39 of 51. 39 of 51. Now, he had 2 interceptions, but 39 of 51. That's Sean McVay scheming these guys open. Look, I've never been a Jared Goff hater. There was this narrative out there, he stinks, he's bad, he's a product of Sean McVay. Here's what I know. Sean McVay has this offense dialed up so smoothly and so clean that a little bit above average quarterback in Jared Goff looks efficient as hell because you have these players wide open. Now, I'll give Doug Pederson a pass here. Fulgham, Ward, like this roster is not good. I mentioned this for weeks now. There is an overvalue occurring when it comes to these weapons. All right, they're not what you think they are. It's just reality. Travis Fulgham is not the next best wide receiver to ever step into the National Football League. He is struggling, and he looks like a 6th-round pick that's been cut 4 times. And I'm not trying to say that he stinks forever and he's some abysmal player. He's not Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, even though he had that couple-game stretch of excellence. Reality is hitting. Greg Ward is just your slot guy. Look, I saw Dan Orlovsky breaking down the tape, and everybody knows that he's this Carson Wentz insane supporter. But he backs it up with factual information and tape, and if you head to his Twitter, he shows you that while these plays from the surface and from the eye test when you're watching the game looks like Carson Wentz has no clue. And this is actually giving Doug Pederson a bit of a rest as well when it comes to voicing my hate towards the guy at the moment. Greg Ward is not sitting in the soft spot that he's supposed to sit in when Carson Wentz is anticipating him to be there, and it looks like it's almost going to be an interception because Greg Ward is not running the right route and not stopping where he needs to stop for his quarterback. Greg Ward is an okay, reliable slot receiver at times, not a game changer, very raw still, making big mistakes, obviously. Then we go to the play that everyone's talking about, Jalen Reagor, all these, I love it, the NFL scouts on Twitter. Yeah, you know who you are. Screenshots a wide open play and circles Jalen Reagor. I love that. It's laughable how many people seem to do that every week. Now, let me clarify. This isn't saying Carson Wentz hasn't struggled. There have been many moments where on Carson Wentz, it's on Carson, he flat out has to pull the trigger, make the throw, hit the target, right? There are times where players are open, where they do run the right, when they do run the right routes, and when Doug Pederson calls the right play, and it's falling right on Carson Wentz's shoulders. Plenty of moments where that happens as well. I can see it. But in that play with Jalen Reagor, could he have maybe thrown an outside shoulder throw to Jalen Reagor? Yes. And this is what Dan Orlovsky is showing on the tape as well. He went to the check down. And you're going to miss throws. Quarterbacks miss throws and miss, not so much miss throws. They do, but that's not my point I'm trying to make. They miss reads. They could have went here, but they go to the check down instead. They might have been able to get a gain of 25, but they go to the check down instead. That happens every single game with every single quarterback. Hell, you just watched Tom Brady throw a bunch of sloppy interceptions. You've seen Russell Wilson with great weapons and with a great offense make a ton of mistakes, turn the ball over in the end zone, throw interceptions. I mean, Russell Wilson went through a 3-game stretch of real ugliness football, and that's with playmakers who can actually play the game at a high level. It happens. On that play, though, Richard Rodgers getting completely waxed. It's all happening as a team. And I think from the surface, the view is Carson Wentz is just missing his throws. But when you reach the all-22, when you dive a bit deeper, and I love what Dan Orlovsky put on tape and put on Twitter, I also watched them all-22 myself. This whole team is a mess. And that's why whether Doug Pederson not being the play caller or not is the difference in this offense being a lead or being what they are now, which obviously is a big extreme, of course. It's not about the production getting better or not to this crazy degree. But I think it's for, just like Carson Wentz taking a seat on the bench just for a little bit, allowing to watch Jalen Hurts, so maybe that could reset his brain. I think Doug needs a reset as well. That's where we're at. I'm talking about Atlanta, Minnesota, New England, that Super Bowl journey, right? Here we are a handful of seasons later. We're trying to hit the reset button. so many football people out there, football guys, if you will, are all asking the same questions. How did this possibly happen to Carson Wentz? Because nobody believes this is who he truly is. And the more and more you look at it, it's a billion reasons why. They're not excuses. Everyone's like, oh, you're making excuses for Carson Wentz. You're just a Carson Wentz supporter. It's either like you have to love him or you have to hate him. Here's reality. There's a billion reasons why this quarterback is not having success. Some of it falls on him. Some of it falls on the head coach. Some of it falls on injuries. Some of it falls on lack of execution. Some of it falls on the GM. Some of it falls on the fact that this ownership is not allowing certain players to play. Like they are forcing these players upon the team, and it's hurting the team. These receivers, not as good as we anticipated. GM goes out and relies on an Alshon Jeffrey at his age with that type of money. Relies on Deshaun Jackson at this age. Head coach not rolling him out. See, the whole rolling him out thing's crazy. It's like, imagine having someone, and I'm going to be outrageous here, but this proves my point. Imagine having someone who hits in baseball. We all know what a normal batting average is, right? Let's say someone hits 520 against lefties. Let's say you have a right-handed batter who hits 520 against lefties. You got bases loaded, 2 outs in a big situation. You can pinch hit that individual. But instead, you're going to put up a lefty hitter who hits under 100 against that lefty. That would never happen, right? You're setting yourself up to fail. Well, keeping Carson Wentz in the pocket right now is putting up that lefty, while rolling him to the right side is that right-handed batter who's hitting 520 against lefties. It's inexcusable. And the fact that every week he keeps bringing it up that I need to call the plays more. Dude, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Now, we got some hotline calls to get to. People have been calling in throughout the week. I love it. The phone number, 856-442-9805. You can call in about anything. It's open 24/7. But I do need to let you know about my friends at Manscaped. Jingle balls to the walls, fellas. Listen up. Untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past. It's time to gear up and get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season. And I am talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. That's why this revolutionary company, Manscaped, has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 3.0 has priority advanced skin-safe technology, so this trimmer cuts on your nuts. It's also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which makes for the best perfect gift this holiday season. It's literally everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. They have ball deodorant, anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And yes, your balls stink. They have their Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. How about that? I think that was lovely. I thought that was nice. Yeah. Thought that was nice. Let's get to the calls.
Hey, bro, Jonathan. I just wanted to say a couple things about the game and about the Eagles this season. So we've seen Carson Wentz actually digress a lot this year, even throughout his whole career. And the thing is that he just, first of all, doesn't have the talent around him, and people keep saying that it's an excuse. You can't blame the talent, Carson. But in reality, he really doesn't have a premier receiver. And I think it's a lot of things. A lot of things that go together to make this team what it is. It's the bad O-line. It's the bad communication. It's not calling a game for Carson. It's calling a game where he's in the pocket, not getting out, not getting free. The defense playing lightly, going away from the run game, which is something I really was hoping that we would fix this week. But Doug, once again, dissipated that run game that was working so well in the first quarter. So, I don't want to rule out us getting better this season, but if things don't turn around quickly, if they don't have a serious discussion and decide what's up with this team, we're just going to see the same thing week in and week out. It's not getting any easier.
Well, yeah, it's already at that point. I'm almost shocked that you went down that road of mentioning, hey, turning it around this season. I'm pretty done with that mindset. Turning it around during this stretch, too. You have a brutal stretch. You have Seattle. You have, who else is on the schedule? Green Bay, New Orleans, Arizona. I don't see a way in hell that they turn this thing around. This is ugly. You couldn't even imagine it getting to this degree, but here's reality. They are a trash football team, and you are concerned moving forward. Now, I saw something really interesting that Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation put out there, and, a lot of people are talking about Carson Wentz right now. And we all are talking about how Carson Wentz is not this guy. It's a good quarterback having a bad season. So Brandon Lee Gouton brought up, why can't Doug Pederson be a good coach having a bad season? And you know what? I think that is a perfect thing to mention. Now, as you all know, as much as I really do despise that individual at the moment, I've been pretty clear that I'm not banging on the table to get rid of this guy because I feel like he does have a skill set that is beneficial. I think that he deserves at least another year before I think about anything. Like next year would be a heavily criticized year, even more than this year. The binoculars would be on him. The seat would be on fire a bit. It would be hot, but I'm not just getting rid of Doug Pederson this instant, even though I am super down on him at the moment, because I acknowledge that good coaches have bad years. Sean Payton was almost canned out of New Orleans because they continued to go 7-9. John Harbaugh was almost canned in Baltimore because he had a bad stretch. So I'll lose my mind. I'll bite my fist. I'll start spitting because I'm screaming so much at Doug Pederson because that's naturally how I feel about the guy in the moment. But big picture, I know that good coaches have bad stretches. Good coaches, just as much as Carson Wentz is having poor play around him, Doug Pederson is having that problem as well when it comes to calling plays. Now, once again, Doug Pederson can do an insanely better job at game planning. But he has had success before. This is his worst season he's ever had. Do I think Doug Pederson is this? No. Do I think that his offense is good enough for my liking totally? No, but it's better than this, and it has shown some sort of success. Now, is that success enough for your liking? I feel that's another conversation to have. It doesn't satisfy me to this lethal degree, but I've seen his offense work on an entirely different level than what you are seeing this season. So if I'm going to say Carson is a good quarterback having a bad year, I think it is also fair to say the same about Doug, and that's why I'm not irrationally screaming every single day that this guy needs to get out of here. I'll emotionally freak out about the guy, yell at him for his press conferences, and hate a lot of his decisions this season. Bigger picture, though, I have seen him have success. Now, he needs help. The guy needs help. You can be a good coach, but have help scheme-wise, strategy-wise. Like the way that Sean McVay has this offense clicking. I had a debate on the Sports Bash today with Mike Gill about this. It's almost like it looks down on Jared Goff that Sean McVay's in his headset and he's being told what to do. This is who you're going to go to. He does it, boom, it executes, it works. And I said, who cares? Who cares if that's what's happening? If Carson Wentz needs that type of assistance, if that's going to lead you down a path that the Rams are going through right now with Sean McVay and that offense and this team going to the Super Bowl. Now, they fell on their face against the New England Patriots, and that sucks, but they got to the Super Bowl. They look like the most complete team in the NFC West, which is an insane division right now, may I add. Adding that in, who cares if Carson Wentz has to be told what to do and needs to be told like Jared Goff? If it results in that type of success, I don't give a damn at all. I don't care how. Each quarterback has their own identity and their own uniqueness to them. If that's what it takes, then so be it. Now, in theory, Carson Wentz is more of a, hey, go make your own plays, gunslinger, roll to the right, and make things happen your own kind of guy. So I don't know if it would be the exact formulation that's happening with Sean McVay, but you understand my point. If it's unorthodox, then it's unorthodox. I don't care as long as it results in success. So if you're rolling him out a significant amount of time and that's just what he does, if you're getting 20-yard chunk plays consistently, fine.
Goodness gracious, that thing started off so well, man, and just as soon as that fumble happened, just shit from there on, man. It was terrible. Dougie, what are you doing, man? For real. What happened about getting Carson out of the pocket? You get him out of the pocket twice. Twice in the whole game, at least designed. And it hits for big plays on both. Like, I don't know, man. This is crazy. Also, Jeffrey, him jumping mad early on that red zone play, forcing the interception. That was terrible. Don't get me wrong. The first interception is big on Carson, but gosh, that is awful, man. And man, I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. I don't even want to talk about being in first.
Yeah, I don't either. I hate that conversation. This team right now, I don't care about the division right now. And I know that's a big change from where I was a little bit ago talking about I want playoffs for Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, this team, this organization, they fell off completely to the point where I have so many other issues right now that I need to focus on more so than, hey, this playoff run. I have long-term problems that we need to discuss. That's where my mind is at more so than hosting a playoff game, okay? That's just reality. The Alshon thing is a nightmare. They butchered this thing for a long damn time, and now you're hearing Deion Sanders mention this on a Barstool podcast. It might have been part of my take. I forget exactly where it was said. It might have been his personal podcast. Regardless, doesn't matter what pod it was on at Barstool. He talked about how there's someone in the locker room discussing that Carson Wentz is not the guy. Carson Wentz is not the guy. It's time to give the other guy a chance. And as soon as I hear something like that, you know who I think of? I think of Alshon Jeffrey. I think of Josina Anderson. I think of the Rat. And don't think that there's not a correlation between what we heard last year or the 2 years ago, whatever it was, with Josina Anderson and Alshon, that there's something about that. Alshon Jeffrey hates it here. He doesn't want to play. You think he's satisfied with these 5 snaps? Hell no. You could see it in his effort. What effort? Exactly. No effort. And that's why I feel that maybe they're forcing him out there because they know if the dude's only going to get 4 or 5 snaps, he's going to give you ass. He's going to give you legit ass. That's nothing. That means nothing. So until he gets a significant role in this offense, he won't give you a lick. Maybe that's what their mindset is, because I know what I saw in that game, that lazy jump, that, oh, I'm going to try here type of jump. Oh. Whatever that was. Now, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any of the major podcasting platform, you probably had no clue what I was doing on YouTube. I'm reenacting what the hell Alshon Jeffrey did. It's embarrassing. It really is.
What's up, bros? I've just been listening to all this, media and all this crap, and I'm still a full supporter of my boy Wentz, and I'm gonna just give you a few reasons why. Because I just feel though, as me, I played the sport all my life, and I could tell some of these people ain't never even played the sport. The number one thing that comes to mind is football is the ultimate team sport. No ifs, no buts about it. So in that case, since 2017 and on in, we haven't had one good receiving backs for weapons. Now, this year, he's been playing like crap, but after Frank Wright left, our play calling has been abysmal.
You're not wrong. Now, when you mention the wide receivers, and another caller mentioned this as well, so I think it's a good time to kind of talk about that. The year they won the Super Bowl, Alshon, Torrey Smith, Nelson Aguilar. Now, you might poo-poo Aguilar right now because everything that happened after the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl year, he was awesome. That Super Bowl game, he was electric. Coming up big, fourth down, big-time catches, late catches. Like, he was awesome in that game. You had a Torrey Smith that, his stats might not pop on paper, might not pop like he was some star, but he stretched the field at a professional level. Not a John Hightower level, not a Jalen Reagor level, probably not to a Deshaun Jackson level to the other extent, but to a professional level. Torrey Smith stretched the field and opened up a ton. Zach Ertz was electric. The running core was amazing. But outside of that year, I would agree with you. They have had slop, and that comes down to Howie Roseman putting a lot of faith in these older guys and then drafting poorly. They have a tough time when it comes to the draft and when it comes to picking players at specifically two positions. Cornerback, wide receiver. You can give them a lot of praise for offensive linemen. You can give them a lot of praise for other spots on the field. Tight end, running back, Miles Sanders. Now, they missed on guys like Pumphrey and things of that nature, but, for the most part, they hit in other areas. Carson Wentz was one where right now, criticized them, but, you go up and make the move for Carson Wentz and you take away this ugly stretch here, what he has provided to this point. You go up and you get your quarterback. Like, you ended up getting a lot. You miss on important skill positions, though, in cornerback, wide receiver. That is a problem. Rob Davis, Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham. These pieces, a banged-up Alshon that can't play, Deshaun Jackson who's never available, these pieces that you have thrown this man is utter garbage. It's unacceptable. I love this one. This is the argument I always get. Doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers would make them work. Carson Wentz is not Aaron Rodgers. Not. He's not 2017 version, but he's not this either. Okay? He is a quarterback who has a very awesome skill set. If you take football people and you say, look at Carson Wentz, everyone. What do you see here? And I'm not talking about the ugly plays this season, but just in general, his skill set. Do you think that can work in this league? And I bet you 99.9% of them say, hell yes. Hell yes. That skill set works. It might not be to the Aaron Rodgers level where he can make slop work consistently. Last year, it did. Back end, it worked. You also played the worst teams in football. He had an impressive year to a degree when it comes to stats. 4,000 yards, no receivers with 500 yards. Impressive. That's not something that you can consistently work with, though, and think you're going to have a ton of success when you play against other teams in this league that actually compete at a high level. That type of roster construction, it doesn't work. He elevated them for a short period of time against bad teams. So what, though? That doesn't mean that this quarterback doesn't work. You got to find a way to get him out of this because this is not him. It's not him. There's more in there. You have to unlock it. And I don't want to hear that it's year 5. You shouldn't have to unlock it at this point. These are the circumstances you're given. Not every road is the same. Some have speed bumps. Some have big-time holes in it. And you got to find a way to get some construction and figure it out. It's ridiculous that we're here today, but we are. But to get back to the caller's point about the weapons, he has not had a supporting cast in the recent years. And it's all playing into the equation. It is. It's not as simple as black and white. He sucks, he doesn't suck.
What's up, Brodes? Day after Browns versus Eagles. I'm hearing, I'm a big Carson supporter. I say so myself. And I'm hearing all the hate, slander, everything. And trust me, he ain't been playing great. He's not what he used to be. But I just feel like a lot of it's overblown because the team itself is terrible.
It is. It definitely is. It's overblown to a degree, but it's still very reasonable to attack this man. See, as much as I am defending Carson Wentz, I do think that there is a line where you need to acknowledge, like, hold on a second. There is a lot of issues that when you take away the other issues, it's still on Carson. There are plays that are effective, and they are being executed at the right rate, but then Carson is screwing up on his own. There is a line that needs to be drawn. Now, ultimately, if those other issues are fixed, do I think that that helps out Carson's play? Absolutely. But there still needs to be criticism on Carson as well.
Like, well, what do you expect from him when he can't even sit in the pocket for more than 3 seconds without getting rushed, hit or hit? And then his coach, his coach don't even make the game plan around him. Like you said, we only seen 2 rollouts yesterday. How does that make sense? When you know what he can do. So I just feel like, yeah, he is definitely not entirely off of him, but it's just ridiculous. Like,
it is ridiculous. It's unfathomable that we are in the position that we are in right now. Blows my mind so much. You know what else blows my mind? Making so much money. How can you make so much money, you ask? Well, so simple. DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdraw at your convenience. Listen to this deal. It's epic. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up. All you need to do is download the app and use code BRODES. BRODES. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every single week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And lastly, my friends at Orbit Energy and Power have been a phenomenal sponsor for quite some time. With over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. Their solar program eliminates your electric bill completely. It's a no-brainer. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, tree removals, electrical upgrades. It's unbelievable, the services that they can provide. Check out their information. It's all down below. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.